as the world turns. This portion brought to you today by delicious mountain-grown Folgers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Arlington was supposed to be here, but he jumped out real quick, having some technical difficulties. You guys know who I am. I'm your host, one of your hosts for the X-Fan Show. Dirty, how is it going? We're doing a pop-up show, and as you see, it says pop-up show as the merger turns. More news has been broke today. It's about who broke what, whatever, who really cares. It's out there. It's all over the internet. I have no idea where Arlington is. That's Arlington for you, though. You gotta love them. Gotta love them. But the XFL world is in a tizzy. Whatever this new league is called, I'm just going to call it the United Football League. It is in a tizzy. Wade Phillips is being reported. It's being reported by Mike Mitchell, James Larson, all over that. Hello, Brett. Anybody wants to join us? Here is the link to the show. Right here, let me bring him in. Oh my God, he looks so bad. He looks so terrible. I'm gonna bring him in. Hello, Daddy Ed.
Hey, man,
how are
what's
you?
going on?
We weren't gonna do a show. Me and Arlington decided we weren't gonna do a show, but then yet news popped up that Wade Phillips is apparently, broken by James Larson and Mike Mitchell that he is the new head coach, heir apparent head coach of the Houston team. Or the San Antonio Brahmas. Oh, here's Arlington. Let's bring Arlington in. Hi, Arlington.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
So, as I've been saying, is that Wade Phillips is now the heir apparent head coach to the Brahmas, according to James Larson and Mike Mitchell. What's up, Jersey? What's up, Queen? Hyena?
Keelan.
Keelan, Brett saying that Wade is a far better choice.
I get it.
Where are you guys at on this one?
I mean, I think that it's a good move if that's that's the route that they're taking at this point. You got a veteran coach. Granted, I'm not mad at Hines Ward for the job that he was able to do in the short amount of time that he was given. He was getting an opportunity. Remember, he was part of spring football back in 2019 when it came to the when it came down to the Alliance of American Football. So hey, applaud him for the work he did, and he's a Hall of Fame finalist. I think that I've seen too. So, or member of the Hall of Fame, whatever. But at this rate, I think having a guy like Wade Phillips is pretty good for San Antonio. So, and if that means he's bringing his roughneck staff over to San Antonio, so be it. And I think I've seen that in one of the posts.
Oh no, Arlington.
Bring him on, man. I don't care.
I gotta bring somebody on because he's gonna go after you.
Well,
before I bring him on, Daddy Ed, what's your thoughts on Wade Phillips possibly, if this is true, being the head coach of the Brahmas?
If this is true, then it effectively does two things. Number one, the Houston Roughnecks, at least for this year, are no more. Will they come back next year, the year after that? We'll have to wait and see. But number two, I think it also puts to rest that you're not going to have any more than 8 teams going forward for the 2024 season because, with the Roughnecks being in limbo, it was always a question of, well, if they bring more than 4 XFL teams back, does that mean that, we're going to have a 10 or 12 team league? Well, with this move here, I think that effectively takes the Roughnecks out. And taking the Roughnecks out, I think the league stays at 8 teams. I don't think we go any bigger than 8 teams for 2024.
I kind of have to agree. All right, now before we bring him on, Mr. USFL Insider, basically, the dude's got connections out the wazoo. It looks like he might actually have some internet, and he is one of the hosts. He's just been under the weather and all that of the Bottom Line with Daddy Ed, the one and only Arlington's best friend, Bert, Brett, however you want to say it. Roll Tide, baby. Go number 5-4, Miles McVay. That's all I have to say. I want Michigan to win.
Live from the Birmingham deer stand.
I would have never said that.
All right, Brett, how are you, buddy?
Man, I've been sick. I'm just trying to make it. Just trying
That's
to
what we
make it.
hear. That's what you keep telling us. So what you listen. Now let's get into. I want to get into something with Daddy Ed. Let me catch you up on some speed. There's a little bit of a rift between A-Train and Brett over some comments that they've said to each other over the years throughout this whole entire spring football world. You two,
what are you talking about, man?
I don't even know what he's talking about now.
Both of them, Daddy Ed. They're both morons, Daddy Ed. They're both idiots. But, they've been complaining about which coaches should be here. Brett's been Steve Spurrier. These two clowns have been fighting over head coaches for who is going to be supremacy. Look at him. He's already chiming in. Supremacy of what coaches deserve spring football. Arlington was about let's give other people who haven't had the chance credit. And the chances, Brett was like, no, let's give established football coaches credit. And now they're at a standstill because...
because of Stoops, for real.
Because of Stoops.
Because of Stoops, for real.
So, now, first of all, before we go any further, will you two just kiss and make up? Because Brett's been a big supporter of ours, Arlington, for years. Look, he just gave you a kiss, Arlington. He just gave you a kiss, Arlington.
Come on, A-Train.
Come on, Arlington. Give him a kiss.
There you go.
He just gave you a kiss right on his cheek.
There you go.
No, I'm not doing all of that.
Well, that was uncomfortable.
Before I do anything else, hey, shut up. Before I do anything else, I must say, happy birthday to my mother. Today is her birthday today, and we got a chance to do some hanging out for a bit. So I just want to wish her a happy birthday. Love you, Mom.
There you go. That's beautiful. That was beautiful. Mama A-Train, I've met the woman. She's a very nice woman. I would never cross her because, like Mama Bear, she scares me. So I would never cross her. Scares me.
You'll definitely get that. You'll definitely get that, man. You'll definitely get it. She is a fighter, man. I tell you.
She is. She's
just
for
the record, Mama Bear heard that.
Did she? That's fine. That's fine. But Mama A-Train is only about 5'2" and a pistol whip. Like she'll pull out a pistol and whip you quicker than dog shit.
Yeah, my mom's 5'1". She's the same way.
Pistol baby. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, she got them. She definitely know how to use it with her mouth. So be careful.
You finally get your wish. Wade Phillips is going to the Brahmas. You were not a fan of Hein Ward. You finally get your wish. Wade Phillips is gone. What do you think this does?
Look, I think Hines Ward would be perfect for the league. I wish he would hang around and do a front office job. I think he's good for the league. He's got a charismatic personality. He's played top level in college and pros. He's a fantastic guy. I never had anything against Hines whatsoever. I want him to be a part of the league. It's just, like you talked about with mine and Arlington's differences on the subject. I was more along the lines of old school, more established coaches than some of the newer guys with no experience. And I felt strongly about my point of view, and Arlington felt strongly about his point of view. There's no, there was nothing more to it than that, really.
Now you kissed and made up. I love it. Asshole dirty, bringing people together.
Shut up. I still want Steve Spurrier.
Shut up. You're an idiot. Idiot.
The old ball coach.
I'm going to let him have it, man. Listen, we're going into 2024, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen today, and then that's that. Yeah, what's up, Gabe? My man Gabe is here, man.
Gabe is actually glad that you and Brett kissed and made up, Arlington. See, isn't that good? Isn't that good?
I even told Dirty that my feelings was hurt over the whole situation.
Oh, my God, Arlington. All he ever did was cry when I would talk to him. Wouldn't he, Daddy Ed? He would cry. He would cry. Oh, God, I love Arlington. I miss him so much.
Yeah,
Arlington likes everybody but me.
Listen.
Look, we got somebody in the Look, Arlington, guys, look, we got somebody in the background. He looks very sad. He looks like
For
he's
what? He should be
contemplating.
the happiest man on the face of the
He
earth.
should, but
He should be the happiest man.
he's really
I
all
wouldn't even let
about
the dude on, man.
he's all about Hines Ward. So let's bring him on, San Antonio. Jay, here he is, and he is in deep, deep thought. Even though he's a
What's up,
Packers
folks?
fan,
baby.
No,
even though
he's
he's a
actually
Packers fan, that's
You guys
okay.
he's
know
actually
that I'm a
thinking
Packers
about the
fan.
Vikings Packers game. That's what's got him depressed.
You mean the Vikings Packers Vikings losing game? Yeah,
Oh God,
I'm good
here
with
we
that,
go.
baby.
Here we
Well,
go.
hey, I'm used to it, so you're not tearing away
We're
at my
here-
armor.
We're here to talk about XFL, not NFL.
Well, hold on.
Track,
It's
Big
not
Daddy
XFL anymore.
United
Okay.
Football League.
United Football League, bait almost is what we're hearing.
What you're hearing, but you could also be wrong. It could be called the USXFL.
That is
Hashtag
true.
SAJ was right. I said it. We're sticking with it. I don't care.
Listen,
That is a missed opportunity if they blow this one.
hold on, Jay. Listen, you can't say that because a lot of people get mad when they say you broke it first. There's a
I
lot of
didn't-
people in this room or in this genre of spring football that get mad when you say you break things first. Just saying.
Okay. Well, I mean, if we're gonna go that route, I mean, I could claim my source as to where I heard it first, but I love the name and I'm sticking with it. I don't care. I don't care who said it first. It's the best name ever. It is a perfect golden opportunity to have something that shows the merger being complete. The two become one, kind of like a marriage thing. But let's talk about whatever this football league is called and the travesty that has transpired here in San Antonio. Okay. I'm gonna give
Is
you
it
two
really a
different,
travesty?
well, I'm gonna give you two different approaches to it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna speak to you first as a Brahmas fan. Well, I'm sorry, as a San Antonio fan. Okay. Hines Ward was absolutely perfect for the city. As the guest before me was saying, and I apologize, I didn't catch your name.
He's still on there, Brett.
Brett. Okay, Brett. Hines was very charismatic. He was very charming. He was perfectly suited to be involved with the football league here in the city. Okay. Granted, he didn't have as much coaching experience as Wade Phillips or anything like that. And he was involved in the AAF that was here for, the 5-6 weeks that it was actually here. But he had a certain presence to him, a certain draw. People wanted to go and hang out with him, and they cared about the wins and the losses. They definitely cared about the losses. But it was okay because it was Hines Ward, and he just had a way of drawing people in and of saying the right things and of doing the right things and stuff like that. So that part is going to be a loss. Okay. As you know, San Antonio has a very large Cowboys community here. Okay. People are not going to forget what Wade Phillips did with the Cowboys and how not good he was as a coach. So there's going to be some resentment. A, that Hines Ward is gone, and B, that it's Bum Phillips that's going to be coaching our San Antonio Brahmas, right? And then, I'm going to take the shot. He's 76 years old. Like, how much longer is he going to be able to coach? We want somebody that's young and vibrant, that's bringing energy and innovation and excitement to the game, not somebody who's going to go back to his 1953 playbook and pull out something that, is just going to get killed on offense. Okay. That's as a San Antonio fan. Now, as the football analyst, SAJ, this is probably the best thing that could have happened to San Antonio. Let's be real.
Ooh,
Okay. Coach Phillips has a career record of 90-73. Arguably, probably not the best record on earth, but the guy knows how to win. He's been winning since he was a college coach. He has worked his way up to where he's at. He has paid his dues. He's probably not the most fan-friendly person on earth. Doesn't need to be. He's already been there. He's already done all that. So he doesn't need the accolades. He doesn't need to be showered with affection and attention from the fans or being heckled. Like, none of that even matters to him anymore. So guys like me, we don't even really waste time heckling him. We'll get our shots in when we can, but we're going to waste time more on the offensive coordinators than defensive coordinators.
Well,
Go
I'm glad you say that because you've heckled Coach Wade.
Oh,
He's
God,
not a
have
fan
I
of
heckled
yours.
him.
He's not a fan of yours, and now he is your head coach apparently. of the San Antonio Brahmas. So now you, right now, have to suck it up, kiss
Some call
Wade.
that karma.
Yeah,
No.
you have to kiss the bum of the son of bum's butt now because he is your head coach.
What goes
Not really.
around
Yes.
comes
Not really.
around.
Because keep in mind, guys, you see it back here behind me. Where's my screen? There I am. I'm a Packers fan. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I have booed head coaches before that I
Strike
did not
two.
like. Okay.
Strike two.
Can you mute Grandpa Father Time up there? The heat miser. Can you just shut him down for a second because adults are talking here? Again, as a San Antonio fan, I don't care.
Oh, you got Mama Bear going now. You got Mama Bear going now. San
Mama Bear,
Antonio Jay.
I'm
You're in
sorry,
trouble.
Mama Bear. I apologize. I'll be nice. I'm scared of her. Not gonna lie, 100%.
Yeah, I know. I am
100%.
too.
She bugging up in the background. I can
Yep.
hear it.
I have to deal with her a lot. Trust me. She's very scary and very
Yep.
intimidating. Lovely
As a-
woman, but she is intimidating.
As a San Antonio fan, I have taken all kinds of shots. For example, our home opener when we had the AAF and the San Antonio Commanders here, I happened to make a joke. What's his name? Troy Aikman was actually there at the game. Walked out, did the ceremonial coin flip, everything. I happened to notice that he was wearing, the old school Academy Father Edition Nike Airs, right?
Mhm.
They're like $80. This guy's worth millions upon millions, and he's wearing $80 shoes. And I happened to make a comment on that on Facebook, and
Oh,
I
shit.
got lit up by the fans here.
You're in
because-
trouble now, Jay.
Listen,
God forbid.
listen. I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna get off.
I'm not done.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. Oh yeah, you are, because you just came at my mom, and I'm gonna come at you.
I went after your dad,
No.
and then I
Uh-uh.
apologized to your mom. Rewind the tape.
Mhm,
Rewind
mhm.
the
That's all I
tape.
had to say. Thank you.
Rewind the tape.
Mhm,
I already said I was scared of your mom.
mhm,
All right. I love your mom. Your mom's a class act.
mhm.
And then
Oh, I thought he said he was scared of your dad. That's what I thought he said.
no, I said I was scared of Mama Bear.
Oh, okay.
100%. Rewind the tape.
Anyway, love you, mama. Gotta go.
Anybody got that red flag we can drop?
Yes.
No, right, yeah. Where's the red
What
flag?
just happened, man?
I don't
Where-
know,
where's-
Arlington. You're
where's my
supposed to be
Commander's
producing
jersey?
the show. Take control,
And,
damn it.
and then look, she bumped me off. So look, listen,
Okay. Again,
What's up,
kick on the
Marco?
curb, man.
as the San Antonio.
Mama Bear says, let the guy talk.
Yes. Thank you, Mama Bear. Love you.
All right, here, fine.
Okay. As a San Antonio fan, I've taken my knocks,
Speed it up.
being the unpopular guy, taking shots at the people that I didn't like, such as Troy Aikman, things like that. So I have no problems taking shots at Wade Phillips. But I've got to give credit where credit is due. The guy knows how to coach. This is probably one of the best finds that San Antonio could have gotten in this whole transaction of whatever this league is going to be called. And especially if Wade Phillips is bringing his staff with him, a staff that already knows how to win in the XFL and has proven it 2 years in a row. Maybe they didn't get the championship, but they were definitely in the playoffs. So San Antonio, you're getting a hell of a deal here. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to upset anybody who, absolutely loved Hines Ward, but you loved Hines Ward, the player. You cannot say that you loved Hines Ward, the coach. Okay. And that's what I've got.
And
And
I
see-
and I'll chime in and say I agree with them 100%. Because as much as San Antonio loved Hines Ward, you can't tell me that each and every San Antonio fan during the regular season last year wasn't doubting his coaching ability at some point during the season.
Yep. So with all the problems that we had with our offensive line and with a pocket quarterback, right? Those are horrible combinations. Things should have been changed as soon as we started having the injuries on the offensive line and all that, realizing that we do not have a mobile quarterback. They should have started making deals. They should have given Pass an opportunity to get some more playing time in. They should have put Ben Kurt in, probably a lot sooner. And this is not a stab at Jack Cohn as a quarterback or anything like that, but he's not a mobile quarterback. He needs a pocket. And when your offensive line is falling apart and you're changing players literally 2-3 times a game, you can't have a non-mobile quarterback in that situation. Ward
Now-
should have seen that.
Right. Okay. So here, like I said, Larson broke the story, and then Mike Mitchell came out with even some more news about it. And this is what troubles me. So I want to get all of your guys' take on this. As you see right here, it says Hines Ward's is indeed out due to a contractual disagreement. Ward did not agree to terms with the new mergers league's coaching contracts set to begin January 1. So the league has pivoted by placing Wade Phillips as the new head coach of the Brahmas. Now, here's what we do. Now, Brett, this is where you're going to come in at right here, okay? So we do know that the XFL paid their coaches rather well.
Right.
Okay. Now, Brett, with you being following the USFL as closely as you did for having the Stallions and all that, how well did they really pay the USFL coaches?
Well, you had very limited coaching staffs with the USFL. I don't have the numbers in front of me. And again, I've been sick for over a week, so I'm heavily medicated. The coaching staffs was probably less than half of what the XFL had. And I want to say, just throwing rough numbers up there, they were probably getting paid 25 to 40% of what some of the XFL coaches were getting paid, head coaches. And I kind of anticipated this, and me and you talked about this offline. There might be an XFL coach or two that would drop off because of the difference in salaries, because we really didn't anticipate this new league to pay some of those real high salaries that that they had paid in the past. USFL and Fox just wasn't going to do that. And looking back on it now, the XFL spent a lot of extra money in other spots that they probably could have saved and wouldn't had such a red year, so to speak. So it's not a big surprise, although when you go 3-7 and your coaching to me looked as inept as it did, the last thing Hines really needed to do is to whine and fuss about money. He should have been thankful he had a job opportunity from what I saw last regular season. And to go back to what Jason or whatever had said, being a San Antonio fan, I know the San Antonio fans liked Hines and they adopted Hines as one of their own or all that, but he did not do a good service to the fans. And I really feel like that hurt the attendance as the season went on. They were just very inept on the sidelines, in my opinion. And I feel like with such a good fan base that moving forward, this will, like Jason said, this is a really good thing for the city of San Antonio to get Wade and his coaching staff. And, one thing we've also got to keep in mind when Jason brings up, well, they had problems at offensive line and things of that nature. Well, all these head coaches, they handled player personnel. They're the ones that drafted these players. They were the ones that signed these free agents. So when you want to sit back and say, well, they had problems at this position and that position and this position, well, they were the ones that got these guys. And part of being a head coach is being a talent evaluator as well. So,
Right. And that's going to be hard for somebody who's been a player most of his life and an actual, involved in coaching for what, maybe 2 years at the most, 3 years. Because again, remember, he coached in the AAF, but he was more of like an offensive coordinator, receivers coach, something like that. I don't remember exactly what the specifics were, but he was never a head coach. So he was never faced with all the decisions like a head coach would be. And he was never really involved with, talent scouting. So that's 100% on Hines Ward. And that's something that you're not going to have to worry about with Wade Phillips because he's been around the game for forever. He knows how to look for the talent. He's got people around him that can help him make those decisions as well because, they've coached for a long time as well. So San Antonio is going to do a lot better. And I would not be surprised if you see a humongous shakeup in the San Antonio, projected rosters and stuff like that now that Wade Phillips is in charge.
Now,
but
let's talk to our money guy who's right there, Daddy Ed. Now, Daddy Ed, you heard Brett say, and Arlington, I want to get your take. Jay, I want to get your take. We got Brett's take on it. And Daddy Ed, the reason why I want you to go first because you're the money guy. With Brett saying that the USFL coaches were getting 40% less than the XFL coaches, are you guys worried that we might lose some other coaches that are already here, like Coach Beck, or coach, Buckley
Well, absolutely,
because of the money situation, Daddy
if
Ed.
you look at it, if you look at it, I think we're naive to think that this is a one-time thing with the XFL. Brett and I talked about this the first week of our show, and the fact that if you're going to tell these coaches that you're going to slash their salaries in half, there's a lot of them that are going to say, I don't think so. I was told I had a 2-year contract. So, I mean, look at Coach Beck. Has he actually done any real spots for the St. Louis Battlehawks? Is he giving you any reason to believe that he's 100% guaranteed coaching the Battlehawks this year? I don't think you've seen any of the coaches of the XFL stick their neck out for anything. So to think that Hines Ward is a one-time deal, we may find out that this is just the start of a lot of changes.
Did we not just see when Coach Beck was fighting for the fact that Gary Jennings went to Birmingham? Did we not just sit here and look at the fact when he got happy when the XFL's Defensive Player of the Year decided he wanted to become a Battlehawk or sign his letter of intent, whatever? Oh, Coach Beck is there, and he's giving off the fact that he wants to remain. Now, for those other 4 coaches that are supposedly not going to be a part of the league, you're looking at potentially Jim Haslett. You're potentially looking at whatever is going to happen with the Vegas Vipers. It's supposed to be Anthony Blevins, right? You're also looking at this rate, Houston's gone. So, and then I'm missing one more other team. Oh, Orlando with Terrell Buckley that Ed just mentioned. So what is that going to mean for those 4 guys? Do they even remain in the XFL, or do they even and say, hey, you know what? I'm gone. So that's what's going to be crazy here.
But A-Train, you can say, Coach Beck is just because he's given the impression to everybody that he's going to return as a coach of the Battlehawks, that can all be subject to contract negotiations.
Now
he can tell them that. He can tell us fans and the fan base of St. Louis that he's going to be the coach of the Battlehawks, but we don't know what's going on.
I'd be floored, though. I'd be floored because, like Arlington said, he's been very vocal about the Jennings signing and all that. I just and again, we got to keep in mind, guys, we're fixing to go from 16 teams to 8 teams. So, just like Flippo now going from the Breakers to the Memphis Showboats. Look, there's not to act like it's not important or it's not a big deal, because it is, but there's plenty of coaches out there. I mean, my worry is, the clock's ticking, guys. We're what, 93 days?
So
that's my worry. We gotta get this stuff hammered out right now.
94. Jay, Jay, I'll let you go because now I want to go to see, like Warren right here. So as you're going to go on with the whole, are we going to see more cuts? Warren said right here, hearing that the coaches' contracts including pay cuts and more duties. Okay, so maybe. So, I mean, Jay, could we see more of the XFL coaches, of the other 3, as would T-Buck with Barlow? Who am I missing?
Barlow's going to be there.
Barlow, Beck, and Stoops. Could we see them gone of those 3?
I honestly think it's going to depend on the person. Stoops, you're probably going to see him stick around. Barlow has already said that he's going to stick around. The new guy in the equation, I don't know. Again, I think it's going to depend on the player. Wade Phillips, he's got enough money. Stoops has enough money. Barlow, they've all got enough money. So I don't think that they're really going to necessarily worry about taking the pay cut per se. Although the information I'm finding online from salary.com says the average base salary for a USFL coach is $67,000, and on Glassdoor, the average is about 64. So I don't know that I trust those numbers necessarily, but there looks to be not that much of a discrepancy in the pay so much. Again, I mean, I'm quoting what I'm finding online. I don't know how accurate this information is. But all things kind of being equal, I think it's going to be more the responsibilities that they're going to have to take on. If they're maybe not necessarily taking a pay cut, but having to take on more responsibilities and do more things, and maybe, they're kind of shrinking their staff, so to speak. Like maybe you
Right.
don't have conditioning coaches and you don't have, wide receivers coaches and defensive back coaches and things like that. You literally just have an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and a head coach. That means you're going to have more responsibilities. So at that point, is that $70,000 salary going to be worth it for these guys or not?
Yeah.
That's going to be the biggest question. And again, I think for a Wade Phillips, I think for a Bob Stoops, guys that have already been there and already, earned the big bucks and stuff. And now they're, almost like, this is folding money for guys like that. So they're going to do it just for,
Well, it's
for
folding
pride.
money for guys like Daddy Ed. He wipes his butt with $20 bills all the time.
Well,
I've seen
but
it.
you
Dang.
I've
If
seen
you look
that.
at Coach Beck, he's made no bones about it that he's got a connection to the New York Jets. And it would not surprise me in the least bit if eventually down the road he's part of the Jets organization. So if he deems that the salary that he's going to get paid going forward in this league isn't going to cut it in his eyes, what keeps him from making the jump sooner than what he had
That's
originally
true.
planned?
So, listen, go on, Jay, because we always have these guys that come on and ask why they're selling. Why do they keep selling tickets? Why do they keep
Before we
selling
get to Jay,
tickets?
I gotta. Mike had a comment.
That's-
It's still very feel much she wanted like a USFL, XFL pissing match instead of our league. We're destined to fail. We can't unite. Also, still firm. Our entire league should be available for the draft in January, February. Here's my thing with that: the speculation around everybody talking about all these journalists and whatnot. Speculation around is that it's going to be XFL division and a USFL division, which could be good for this league. Could be
Right.
very good for that. And you can talk your trash about how the USFL is better than the XFL and stuff, right? Because you know that's going to happen. Come on. But at the same time, like Dirty has said on occasion, this is our league. We have to, until ownership comes into this mix, when owners are taking apart these teams and it's no longer an 8-team league owned by one entity, when it's going to become separate entities, that's when the fun can happen with one team over another. But until then, these leagues, we really have to all be together on it, no matter how much we don't want it to be. But that's what's happening. That's the reality here, right? So even with these season tickets that are coming out, they're saying, hey, we still want to do that. They're trying to keep their ducks in a row until it's a formal announcement that they're done.
Well,
That's what's going on. I don't like it, but that's what's happening.
Go on, Jay, because I have very strong feelings about this.
I'm going to counterpoint Arlington.
Okay, go ahead.
None of you guys were old enough to remember, not even Daddy Ed probably, when the NFL and the AFL came together, right? That was a compliment to you.
Wait, did you hear in the background loud enough? She goes, nope. In the background, she goes, nope.
She actually said, ouch.
Oh, she said, ouch. I thought she said no.
Oh, and I was trying to pay you a compliment, Ed, seeing that you're young and vibrant and spry. And
Yeah, you were.
I was.
Go ahead, really.
Okay. Nobody remembers the tension that happened when the NFL and the AFL merged into one league. Okay. It's exactly what we're going through right now. I think tension is a good thing. Okay. Maybe overall, yeah, we need to support the two leagues becoming together. But the XFL fans don't have to like the USFL league. And the USFL league doesn't have to like the XFL league. It'll get there eventually. But this is how good rivalries are built, is from animosity like this.
Yeah.
You think Green Bay Packers, I'm going to always reference them, 1919. You think they started out with just like, hey, let's get along with everybody? No, they used to play the Chicago Cardinals in Chicago and in Green Bay, and they used to beat the absolute tar out of each other. And their fans love that. It's one of the oldest rivalries in professional sports. We could do the same thing with that same animosity here with this new league, USXFL. Yep. I said it again. And this could lead to some serious sustainability. I despise the USFL team so much, I'm going to buy season tickets for the Brahmas just to watch them beat the crap out of every USFL team they play. just paraphrasing. I'm not saying those are exactly my thoughts, but that's what you could build on, right? And I would almost be willing to root for Arlington as they played against USFL. I know.
You better
Hey,
pack a
hey,
lunch with Birmingham, baby.
I don't know about
Steven.
that one.
Hey,
Oh,
listen.
here you go. See,
Better
look,
pack a lunch.
Your
Listen.
best quarterback is now my backup quarter, or he's on my practice squad. So I don't want to hear about Birmingham. Thank you very little.
You ain't gonna hear about them
I'm going to hear about him when he's doing
Look,
great
I will
things for the
say it
Green Bay
right
Packers.
when
now.
they
on
fold
this
in San
show.
Antonio up like a lawn chair. You will hear about them.
I will say it right
Keep
here
bumping them
on
gums.
this
We'll see
show.
what happens when we see you out there on the field.
You ready? Look, I'm gonna single screen myself. I'm gonna say it right here on this show. When this new league is merged, there is going
USFL.
to be one team that is going to go undefeated and is going to go all the way to the championship. It is going to be like the 72 Dolphins, and it's one team. And are you guys ready for that one team? Dirty saying it
Memphis.
now. Whether you
Memphis.
like it or not, it's going to be.
I'm so sorry. We couldn't get it out. We couldn't get it in, man. I'm sorry. We just couldn't get it. We couldn't get it in.
I know he was going to say Memphis. I know he was going to say Memphis.
Man, listen, he was there, man. He was so right there for it. I'm sorry, he cut out. You cut out, man.
I did cut out, but that's right. So here,
Bro.
let's get back to one point right here. Robert keeps saying, why are they selling tickets still
I just
on the
I just
website?
said why.
Okay, so
said
Brett,
why.
I'm going to ask you because you are part of the USFL. You're very, you have your people in with the USFL and all that. Up until the USFL and the union players union came out and said they were still selling deposits in those 4 cities for all 8 teams in the USFL just a few weeks ago, correct?
Right.
So that was just a few weeks ago. Now,
Well,
the
keep in mind
USFL
that's the cities where the teams are located: Michigan, Birmingham, and Memphis. Now I think they did Canton as well. But I mean, Michigan, Birmingham, and Memphis is going to be of course they're going to continue to sell tickets because those are 3 of the teams that's going to be around.
right now,
Right, and that's what I was trying to say is that if you look at what these teams are looking like with the landscape of what these 8 cities are going to be, every single one of them is going to have a venue. So that means we're going to get an opportunity to potentially go to these different venues. And
Yeah.
most of the 7 out of the 8 will be pretty much down the line.
will be
Well, no,
driving
6
distance.
of them, I should say. 6
Yeah.
of them.
Daddy,
Birmingham
how far
being
is
the
it
most
get-
south, and then DC being the most east.
Is
So
San Antonio? I thought San Antonio is more south than Birmingham.
it's west. It's more southwest.
Southwest.
Yeah, we're south and west.
Okay. I mean, Daddy Ed, how far is it to drive to Michigan? To Detroit? What, 8-hour drive?
It's going to be about a 9-10 hour drive.
Okay. Yeah. Any
For
words
you
on the
folks.
Houston Gamblers? I mean, listen, the way
What's
it's
being
looking,
what's being thrown out there, that's what I'm gonna say. What's being thrown out there is that
Rice.
until everything is finalized, it's gonna be Rice. Because right now
No.
TDECU is going through renovation.
Mhm.
But there was the rumor that Rice only wanted the Roughnecks, right?
Right.
And then you had Rice wouldn't be prepared or ready for when the season would begin, or TDECU is still in play. You had a bunch of stuff. So everything is uncertain. And that was a comment that I seen that I really wanted to touch on. Why is everything being a secret?
All right. So,
Why is
yeah.
everything's such a secret.
So, okay, here we go. So
That's
let's
where I'm at.
really. Okay.
Why is everything got to be so secretive? Can we know what the progress is? And here's the thing I believe is that they don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, here, look. Like Warren says, in 1 week, assistant coaches for Birmingham for the Brahmas went from pending signature agreements to getting fired and Wade bringing in his staff. Right here. JR says, did you see Brandon Williams from the Battlehawks, head of the marketing and whatever, got the Jack Buck Award? I thought that had to be a joke. Worst marketing team in the XFL.
Listen, nope. I'm not going to even. This is what I'm going to say to that. I know a lot of people were upset with Brandon Williams and they were more happy with Kurt Hunzinger. Here's the thing. He had very, very little time to do what he needed to do. He wasn't given a lot of time to do that stuff. And I'm going to defend him for that. I know I've given Brandon Williams some crap too, but here's the thing. He did not have a lot of time to get everything he wanted together. And also this. The XFL already knew what they were going to get with St. Louis. So what was the point
That's
of
what.
marketing? What was
See,
the
and
point of
that's what I
marketing
say.
anything?
Right. That's why I always say
What's
about
the
St.
point?
Louis. What I'll give it to you. Throw St. Louis out of the window. It's an anomaly. Just like Birmingham is for the USFL. It's an anomaly. Birmingham wanted football. St. Louis wanted football after the Lambs left. The only reason I can guarantee you this, right now, and if any fan and any one of you guys want to disagree with me, I will say it now, you're an idiot. If the St. Louis Rams would have still been here,
The Battlehawks would have been
nobody
there.
would have had, we would not have had the Battlehawks. And even if we did have the Battlehawks, not one person in St. Louis would have gave two rats' asses about the Battlehawks. The only reason they cared about the Battlehawks was to stick it to the NFL. The only reason. Only reason. And if
And that
the
was the
Rams
fans.
would have still been here, we would have not, nobody would have cared about the Battlehawks. Anybody want to try to prove me wrong? Because that's the truth. What?
I'm actually going to back you up on this one. So remember your home opener when SAJ and family came up to St.
Yes.
Louis to hang out with you guys. I must have gotten involved in at least 20 separate Cronky Sucks chants. Didn't even remember who that cat was. Okay. And I had to look it up. And I was like, oh, it's the owner of the Rams. Okay. That's 100% what you said is true. Everybody, they even had a fan dress up as Cronky at the game. And
We
everybody,
lost Brett.
oh no.
It's all right. He'll come back.
He fell out of the deer stand.
He did.
Well, hunting is a real thing down here. So
No, Queen,
but-
listen.
yeah, 100%. There is such bitterness with the St. Louis fan base towards the NFL and Cronky, the owner of the Lambs, as you said, that they would pretty much jump on board anything that gives them an opportunity to flip the proverbial middle finger to the NFL as a whole, because you had a great fan base there, horrible owner who took advantage of you guys as fans and left you high and dry, and the league completely walked away and forgot about you guys.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
how many years got to go by, Dirty, before you quit saying that crap?
I never will. I never
You
will
know,
to
that's
the
right,
fans.
you never will. So at what
You're
point
right.
in time
Listen, I'll
does
tell
the
you
St.
when.
Louis Battlehawk fan base get credit for being
will
a
tell
good
you.
fan base that backs their team? Because
I will tell you.
year one goes by, year two goes
Shut up.
by, year three goes by. You say the same old shit.
I will tell you when the St. Louis Battlehawk fans quit chanting Cronky Sucks in the dome.
Well,
That's when I'll
All
say
you
it.
doing
towards
now
the
is you're
end
gonna
of the
add to the. You're gonna add to this.
Towards
So
the
you're
end of the
agitating
season,
it.
it was
You're just
down to a few
agitating them.
small factions, and every time they would start chanting, they were drowned out by people telling them to shut the hell
I
up.
know. And there's
So-
a small majority of
it's
them that I wish would
fading.
go away.
It's fading. So next year, when they don't say it, what's going to be the excuse then?
Then I'll
'Cause
finally
you know
say,
what?
thank God.
We'll
Thank
continue
God.
to put 35,000 fans, and that's in the seats, just
All right.
on
Good night,
purpose to shut your ass up from saying it every year. Oh my God.
See, look right here. Look, finally, fans are starting to see it. I personally don't give a crap about the Rams or the NFL in general. They're starting to see it. Yeah, the last game, I didn't hear it, but I guarantee you we're going to go to the Dome, and in that very first game, and those idiots, there's going to be that select few idiots that are going to start chanting, Cronky Sucks.
Every fan base has a select few idiots.
Well, we need to
It
get rid of
doesn't
those
matter
idiots.
whether they're
You
saying
never will, man. Come on down for real.
or whether they're saying battle pigeons, or whether they're saying
Oh, Jay, listen, look, JR. I used to like you, pal, but now you say that. Oh, man.
So, Ed, let me ask you something. While I was there in St. Louis, we happened to take in a Blues game, completely unrelated sport. Why did I hear that chant there?
Because it's not a football
because
team.
he owns,
I'm gonna go
an
with that.
NHL team too.
It's not a football team. They're not going to mention Cronky because Cronky ain't got nothing to do unless let the Colorado Avalanche pull up. it's happening. You know it's
Oh
happening.
yeah, Colorado.
When the Colorado Avalanche
play,
pull up, they
they're
chant Cronky
absolutely
Sucks
saying it.
all
Yeah.
day, every day.
But that's why I'm
So-
saying, like, why? And I don't remember who the Blues played against. It may, in fact, have been against Colorado. I don't know. It was the one game where they actually almost had a goalie fight, which was phenomenal.
Well, St. Louis,
But
and even
I
before,
heard the
even when
chant.
the Rams were here, St. Louis and Colorado has always been a big rivalry in hockey.
Okay.
Always has been. It's
But-
been them. You have them, the Red Wings. You have them, the Red Wings, and the Blackhawks have always been our biggest rivalry since. So it's normal. Like I get why you would say it at the Blues game. I would get why you would say it there.
Why?
Look, I've let it go. I've let it go that the Rams left St. Louis back in 2016. I let it go.
Yeah.
I named my oldest son after the Rams. His initials are Rams. I've let it go. It's the other fans that have not let it go.
I don't think you've let it go because
I have.
sometimes it's
No,
in
I
your
have.
head. When you fall asleep watching a football, I mean, we've watched football games together, and when you fall asleep, you're still ranting about it in your sleep. You can't
Never,
think about nothing else.
never,
You can't think
never.
about nothing else.
You know what's going to happen when I get off
One
this
of
show.
these days, you're gonna flap your lips for so long. that
Listen,
now that you're
gotta tape
fans
'em.
that like to say "Dirty's always right,"
You got to
they're gonna
tape them.
start turning on you because you
Gotta
can
tape
only
it.
bash your own fan base for so long.
no, I don't
Wow.
bash
They're
the
gonna
fan
say,
base. I just
"You're
bash the select few.
You got to tape it. You got to
I
tape it.
bash the select few. You know what's going to happen.
You
I'm gonna
don't
when this
bash
show's
the
over.
select few. You always refer to them as St. Louis fans,
Idiots.
but yet you're still
See?
a Battle Hawk.
Like
fan.
right here. Right here. Here's an idiot. You know what's gonna happen when this show's over? I'm gonna walk out of my studio
and you're
and
gonna
I'm
get
going
bitch
to
slapped.
hear-
You're gonna get mugged.
I'm gonna hear "Let It Go." That's what I'm going to hear. Let it go.
And then
Look,
she's gonna
I've let it
bitch
go.
slap you.
See, right there. I've let it go. It's the fan base that has not let it go. I have tried to tell the fans in St. Louis. If we want to be the number one fan base, if we want to be the fan base that everybody looks to, like right here, we have a guy below us. Ask him what he thinks about the St. Louis fan base.
He's a San Antonio
No,
fan.
that's not the
Do you think
point.
he's gonna give us praise? Come on, it's
No.
called a rivalry. Come on.
No.
Can I take this one?
Yeah, go.
Hey, I don't know if you remember, Ed, but do you remember how Dirty and I actually met?
I don't even want to visualize how you guys met.
We met
We
over
met on
the
Grinder.
Shh.
Oh, that's right. I was supposed to say that.
Yeah, shh. We've got personas to protect here.
Right.
When I found out that San Antonio had a team, I immediately looked up the St. Louis fan page because I knew St. Louis had the best fan base in the XFL. We're the new kids on the block, but we had the best fan base in the AAF, hands down. The two teams couldn't beat us in attendance. It made sense to me. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, right? Ric Flair. Woo! I knew that we had to get that rivalry started if we were going to take you guys out because you guys were the reigning champions as far as fan base goes. You guys were pulling in 40,000 even back then. Okay. Best we did was 33, I think, at a home game. So I knew that we had really big shoes to fill if we were going to take you guys out. So I immediately went on the Facebook page, started talking trash to you guys, started trying to build that rivalry. Now I did it in a respectful way, but I did start talking trash. And Jason messaged me and said, man, keep it up. Keep that energy. Right. And that's what started a lot of the stuff, the frenemy relationship that San Antonio and St. Louis has. But it's because you guys had the best fan base, hands down. But I get where Jason is coming from with this whole holding on to this whole, Kroenke thing.
But Jake, when you started that, how did the St. Louis fan base start treating you? Because you'd shared some messages with me that people had sent you. Jorge had sent me some messages that our St. Louis fan base had sent him saying, go back to Mexico, you dirty spick, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was over the line stuff.
Shut up and let the dude talk, man. Damn.
At first, it started out friendly enough. Okay. People like Sandy were, saying, hey, welcome to the family. Be ready, to take your losses, just normal, trash talking. And then it started going to, a lot more personal stuff. Brahmas are, a chicken. They're a cow, all these weird things. Everybody knows I don't like the name, and that's fine. Take your shots. I don't care, whatever. But then you guys started with that whole San Antonio fans poop standing up. And then it just went downhill from there. Now, let's be honest. That kind of stuff, that doesn't speak well, for your fan base. I mean, you can talk trash and everything like that, but people pooping standing up, like that's elementary school stuff. Like nobody even cares about that, right? So, I mean, if your fans are going to talk trash, they got to do better. Okay.
What percentage or what faction of the crowd are you talking about? Because I can go to any stadium. Believe me, I've been to enough road games in the NFL that I've almost ended up in a fight because of stupid people, drunks that decide that since I have a Viking jersey on, I'm the enemy and everybody's talking trash to me the whole game and stuff. I mean, that goes with sports. But when we talk about that, how much of the crowd are we actually talking about? I mean, last year over in Dirty Side, and forgive me, you sit on that side you're going to get, that's
No, you get the
the way
stupid.
it is.
You get the stupid blow up doll and all that dumb shit.
But
Idiots.
So you're talking, even say it's 1,000 fans, you're talking a matter of 2 or 3% of the crowd that you're going to label the whole fan base by what a handful of people are saying.
See, look right here, Ed, right here. Well, only Viper fans stand pooping up, but I didn't hear any negative with the Wave fans, and I highly enjoyed going to San Antonio. That's what I'm saying. It's our fan base, and if we want to be the number one fan base, to take that claim, to say that we're the number one fan base, it's fun. It's okay to have a fun rivalry like we did with Jay and all of that. But when they take it to a level like they did with some of the stuff that I had seen that they had posted, and I called a lot of the people out on the shows before, it was uncalled for. So, I mean, this is an outsider. You're talking about an outsider looking into the St. Louis fan base that says your fan base was kind of disrespectful.
Oh, so yeah, we can go on and on and on and on about this, but
like when you went to DC,
when I went to Nashville, I went to a Tennessee Titan game. The Vikings were playing there, and in the fourth quarter, I had a couple drunks that decided that I was going to be their reason for being alive, and Big Daddy Ed started making the fist like I had enough, and Mama Bear grabbed my arm and said, "Don't you even think about it." So, so I'm supposed to take that altercation, and then all of a sudden, for the next 5-10 years, say that the Tennessee Titan fan base is just horrible. They're just terrible. So you have a handful of guys.
I get his point.
That want.
I get your point.
I get
You
your point.
want to sit here for the next 10 years and not legitimately say that our fan base is good just because you hear 20 people say Kroenke sucks when we have a home game. But yet that means the whole fan base sucks.
Okay, I want to say this. That comment that you got the poop standing up is the dumbest crap ever. This is his fault.
I
hated it.
That.
And it started on this stupid show.
But you started it. You started it.
Wait a minute. Wait.
He's pointing at you, Dirty.
No, I know.
You started that.
He did.
Okay.
It got out of hand.
It got out of hand. Just like that stupid cacao.
But
I get that.
Now you're admitting you started it, but then you want to jump on everybody who says it.
No. That's not the point I'm trying to make. I get everybody's point.
God, Dirty.
Hold on, listen. I get everybody's point. The standing pooping up thing, yeah, it was stupid, right? It was stupid. But when you go on, when our fan base goes on to other pages and starts, I'm not saying it's the entire fan base.
But
it's
you started it.
No, I'm talking about something totally different. When you go and you start tacking people's families, you start tacking
I get what you mean.
people's nationalities, that's when I draw the line. And
Just
that's what
like
our fan
every
base
other
has
fan
done.
base does.
But
Just
that-
like
but-
every
but
other.
that's-
This isn't different. This isn't the NFL that's been
How?
around
How is
for
anything
100
different
years.
from that,
Hold
man?
on, listen. This is different. This is a small league that needs to survive. It needs every single team, every single fan to be on board for all of the teams to survive. Until we get ownership, like Arlington says, these leagues will not survive until we have individual ownership and until all of these people start supporting the entire league, not just one team, the entire league. So all I'm saying is this: you have people going on and saying, "Oh, great, here she comes now." The St. Louis fan base is great. I mean,
You see my eye
they made
roll?
me get a tattoo. They made me jump through a flaming table that I did.
Nobody made
for
you
this.
listen. Intervene. This
Yes,
is where
Uh-oh.
I
intervene.
don't.
Arlington. Did
No.
they?
Nobody
Intervene.
forced your hand to jump that table, bro. Nobody.
That was
Ooh.
just you being an idiot. What's that got to
Exactly.
do with
Thank
the
you.
fan
That
base?
was
Nobody
you being an
forced your
idiot.
hand to do that.
Yeah.
Just like
Dude.
them lips you got. Nobody forces your lips to run more than you.
Sir.
True.
Oh my God.
Nobody.
I gotta
True.
go.
And the truth shall set you free.
No,
Dude.
hold on. I made a bet with the fans. Said if you get us to a certain amount,
You would do
you get
it.
us to a certain amount, I'll get a tattoo. I said if you get us to a certain amount again, I jump through a flaming table. So it was the fans that did
That
it.
was you.
I
That was
know.
you that did it.
I said that. But all I'm saying is this. I don't say we cannot claim being the number one fan base when we visibly attack the other fan base and not help support them.
Bigot,
in a respectful way.
Very bigoted. But
Answer
like
this.
Ed
Answer
said,
this, Dirty.
Yeah.
Remember when you made the comment to me that the type of person you are today isn't the way you were when you did this podcast 3 years ago?
Yes,
oh,
that's
he
what I'm
got
saying.
sentimental with you.
Okay.
Oh, he hits you.
Okay. When 3 years ago, when you talk about the kind of guy you were and the kind of podcast that you had and the things that you did, you helped create the very fan that now you're trying to say you
I'm trying to
despise.
fix it. I'm trying to fix it, Daddy Ed. I'm trying to
And you
fix it.
can't. And you can't. That's
You
the
can't
problem.
fix what you
can't
created.
fix what you created this monster, and now you trying to get all sentimental and stuff, and you want people to really be upon it.
All of a
It's too
sudden
late.
you're maturing
It's too
and
late.
you're finally getting, you're finally starting to mellow out a little bit. Now you want to cry foul because all these goofballs that you created.
Daddy Ed, I love you, man. Like, so seriously, man. I love you, man, because you sat here and you just decimated him with kindness. That's what I love about you, man. You straight decimated him.
It's right there.
Hey,
I get
wanna
both
give
sides.
them- Go ahead.
I get both sides of the argument. Dirty is right that we've got to kind of roll back some of the things that we say, some of the things that we do. We need to set
That's true.
better
Everybody
example.
does. It doesn't
Right.
matter. Everybody does.
Right.
With
And-
any-
and-
Oh, wait, look.
Oh, get out of here, man.
Thank you, Ryan.
Okay. But
Ryan, go to bed.
Daddy Ed is 100%
Goodbye,
right
Dirty.
also that he shouldn't have to be worried about going to, an away game and
You're
getting
right.
into an altercation with fans.
Which is understandable. Yes.
Right?
Like you said.
So it's okay to build those rivalries like BD and I, my co-host on Texans Talking Football. Our objective is to harass the team. And we do our job pretty well. But we've had because we're sitting in the visitor side. So we've had a bunch of players, families and stuff like that sitting next to us. And not a single one of them have left upset with us because we don't make it personal. We try and do things to get in their head. We do the false cadence, all that kind of stuff. But we don't ever try and attack the players. And we're never going to say anything to the players' families because
Go ahead.
they've got nothing to do with it. We
Go
want
ahead,
them to
Hyena.
feel as welcome here as possible. Right?
Go ahead, Hyena.
And that's the way it should be. Queen Hyena. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Isn't Dirty the one that said, yeah, and we flex. He flexed flexed over the Battlehawks and he flexed over our team and he blah, 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 noochie, flex,
you are
flex,
helping
flex.
create the
Let's
And
go,
you
baby.
were okay with another team's quarterback flexing over a Battlehawk like an idiot yourself.
Hey, this
Oh my
is
God.
nothing
But
but
yet
the world of
all the
wrestling.
Battlehawk fans are just shame.
Yep. It's okay
I
for
want
us to
you to
do it,
see
but
this.
not you.
Do it again, Dirty. Do it again.
I did a screenshot of that.
Listen
did.
when I tell you that kettle pot better be deep as hell, and you better have the
No,
biggest
listen, I'll give you a
spoon
story.
you've
Listen,
ever
I'll
had
give you a
in your
story.
life.
Listen. I'll give you a story back in 2020, how scary it really was for us. Arlington, remember when we were making our trip to Tampa?
Oh my gosh.
We were literally told that we had to bring security because they said we would not make it out of that stadium alive. We literally had an entire fan base that hated our show and said that if we came down there, we would not make it out of that stadium alive, and we were told to hire security to go with us. Were we not, Arlington? I mean, it was
Listen, man.
that bad. You're right. I did
So
create
you're
the
the
monster.
exact
That wasn't
goofball
Arlington.
you're
That
trying
was
to-
you. They
Right.
probably
I know.
recognized you.
You were gonna
They
get
probably
me
knew
killed
who
too.
you were, so they were like,
You're
"This
the
cat's
exact
coming in to create
goofball.
drama."
that you're trying to bitch about now.
I am.
Right.
I admit
So
it.
you now
I
went
admit
Clint
it.
Eastwood, Gran Torino on the XFL all of a sudden now, because now you want to bring unity to the whole mix.
I'm wanting to bring this new league together.
Okay, well then don't let Nooch come back then. Nooch
Let me
is
tell
banned.
you something, brother.
Nooch is
Ooh,
banned
yeah.
from the XFL. No longer should be
Ha-
on it.
Hey, listen.
We could
Listen,
use him as quarterback.
everybody. We need to come together like the Cubs and the Cardinals do
I kid.
all the time. That's what we need to do for a friendly rivalry. No, it's just like you're right. I did create this. I did help create a lot of how it goes.
Hey, kids.
Okay, next
Dirty
subject,
just publicly admitted what he just did back in
next
2020.
subject then.
Next
the
subject.
The state rests.
Right, yeah.
Fair enough.
It's just, all I know is this. As much as I bash the Battlehawk fan base, we will always be the number one fan base. We will always have the number one fans. There will never be another fan base as big as us.
I don't know.
I
There's
mean,
a
listen.
team in DC that got something to say about that.
SAJ can say whatever
DC
he wants,
won't.
but it was sure funny when he come to St. Louis in September. Who left with a Battlehawk on their face? We weren't too bad that weekend, were we?
In my defense, there was a lot of alcohol involved. Okay. And
See, look. See, everybody's like, where did the evil dirty go? It was a long time ago. Arlington said, "Listen, I need a nicer dirty." Because a nicer dirty is a scarier dirty.
And you still are scary. It's still scary, even right now as you're doing this show.
Yes, I am a
Yeah.
Dr. Frankenstein. Here's the thing: is I just want to see, regardless of everything, I want to see this new league succeed.
I want to throw that out there real quick.
Yes, you're right. We are like Cowboy fans. You are right. We are like Cowboy fans, and the Brahmas are like Eagle fans. Oh, look at this! I like Savage Dirty.
The only thing that I want, in fact, with our show, The Bottom Line, we want to reach out to some podcasts in the USFL and start getting that interaction going. But the only thing I was hoping to ask Brett before he took off was it's understandable that the Birmingham has won 2 championships in a row, because it's obvious that they get like a roster size of 120, 130 when everybody else gets 54, because, if the Battlehawks sign a player, Birmingham signs a player.
That's true. That is true.
If San Antonio signs a player, Birmingham signs a player.
they signed 2.
DC signs
Jesus.
1, Birmingham signs 3. So somehow or another, their roster size must be like 120, because
You said 150.
He said 150, Daddy. Ed.
signing players, baby.
He said 150.
I will say this: their scouting has been phenomenal, and I mean, for them to get 2 championships, the way that they've done it, and they did it with 2 different quarterbacks at the helm, in the USFL. As much as I don't want to give them the credit that they deserve, they actually do deserve a lot of credit with what they have on offense and defense. Like a team like Arlington, that would be so interesting to me because they're the last 2 champions in spring football. And so I would want to see how Stoops would handle a Skip Holtz type of team. You know what I mean? So that would be an interesting matchup for sure come 2024 if majority of those teams can stay together.
Here's what we do know as of today, reported by James Larson and Mike Mitchell, is that the guy right below me, San Antonio Jay, has a new head coach, apparently, Wade Phillips, has possibly the scariest offensive coordinator in all of spring football.
Till he fell apart.
He might have the scariest offensive coordinator.
Till they fell apart.
Right. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. I mean, we're right around on the new year. Yep. So I don't think we're going to hear anything else. Because, I mean, usually, USFL announces stuff on Tuesday. XFL announces stuff on Thursday. So I really don't think we're going to hear anything more until after the new year. We know that the draft, there was apparently the supplemental draft that was supposed to happen tomorrow, but now that got pushed back.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. And I'm just going to say it again, this was not one of my finest moments. Not one of my finest moments back in 2020 when I attacked a young child.
What?
Hey, wait, I got the story for this. Shut up. Don't say nothing. This dude obliterated a kid's podcast. I don't know what the name of a Battle Fan or something like that. The kid just disappeared.
The Battle Dome. Stole the title we used on that show.
And disappeared. Like the kid is a whisper in the wind. I kid you not. He destroyed this kid, man. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, he was a kid. I don't give a fuck. He was a kid. He should have said it in the first place. I'm talking about Dirty was savage. Like he did not care. But Guess what? I said Kinder Dirty is still a scary one, man. Like literally. Man, like it was crazy. It was a crazy time because he wanted to make sure that St. Louis was number 1 over every team in the XFL. And it was passionate because when people found out that there was a league, St. Louis was hopping on board like this. And we were sitting there like, where are y'all coming from? We just sitting here talking crazy about a show, that hasn't even got players yet. Hadn't even got coaches yet.
Well, I mean, let's look at it, Arlington. We met Daddy Ed. I want to say it was Daddy Ed. It would have been one of the happy hours at the Post when we met you and Mama Bear for the first time, right?
It was at that hotel that had planes turn their name into the.
Was that the first time we met you? I thought we met you at the Post in
the flight deck. It was the flight
2020.
deck.
That could be. I probably met you a few times, but I just kind of wrote you off as not being that big of a deal.
Wow.
I mean, hey, listen, apparently we are a small potatoes,
They love
not
me more than
big
they
time
love
enough.
you. That's great. Hey,
20,000 people watching some idiot get a tattoo. I mean, yeah, you're right. I did go. Listen, in 2020, it was about. Because we knew that the St. Louis market wouldn't cover this team. So that's why we started this show. And in hindsight, I wish we would have covered the entire XFL in 2020. But we didn't. We only covered the Battlehawks at the time. And it was about destroying any other podcast that came on about the Battlehawks and all of that. It was about destroying any other team, any other podcast that there was. I've had a lot of bridges that I've had to rebuild since 2020 to get where we are today, where we have the Legion now, where Jay reached out and wanted to work with us, where Michael Lathrop reached out, wanted to work with us. I mean, the guys at Newsroom and News Hub, I bashed every single one of them guys weekly.
Hey, Newsroom didn't care.
They didn't care. Right, yeah. And I mean,
and News Hub didn't either, but still my thing was
right.
He would go after them left and right.
But it was up, and I've had to build those relationships back up with those guys. And now it's about uniting this entire league all of these teams into one giant fan base. Root for your team. That's cool. Root for it. But
Well, I
we
think
just need to unite under the banner.
Watch the games. Watch the games.
between
Watch
now
the
and the end of March,
Mhm.
we have to get out there and get in with the other podcasts and get to know the other fan bases, because we have an opportunity to have a very unique, very cool year if there is indeed an XFL, USFL separate division. I mean, talk about the friendly trash talking that can go on.
Yes, I did pretty much say that to that kid. I pretty much
Yeah.
did say that to him.
Yeah.
Don't claim you were the first. Don't say you were the first the Battlehawk podcast when you weren't.
Crazy stuff.
That's why you got destroyed.
Wild times 3 years
Yes,
ago.
but we
About to be
do
4 years
have
ago.
the big event coming up January 13th in Houston at R&R
Sports bar.
Sports Bar, where we're raising the money for the Hawks, the Houston area women's shelter.
Center.
So center, that's right. I did it again. The center.
I do it all the time, man.
Right, yeah. So come out and join us for that. We're still working on more details. I know that we're having a big meeting on Monday to talk about some more stuff and
Way
what
to
we
start off
want
the
to
new year.
do and all that. Dirty needs to do more live shows out in the community.
No, he does not.
Jesus,
Because
I don't like the
no,
community.
he does not. For the simple fact of the matter
hate
is,
leaving
you
my
didn't see none
house.
of y'all come out when we were doing live shows.
Right, yes.
So yeah, I'm bashing for that reason. Oh yeah, I'm going after them too. Yep, me. Because y'all wasn't coming out. When we did a show at an area bar on the south side. I'm not even referring to them by name.
Yep, that's
Not even
true.
referring to them by name because I couldn't even stand the owner over there at that particular bar.
She
Forget it.
was a bitch.
Wow.
That one. But then we had one that we got acquainted, and I missed that bar now. The one that we were able to get one at, Missouri Bar and Grill. I'm gonna put that out there. It's no longer around. I remember so much good times that we had at Missouri Bar and Grill when we were doing the show. That's what we were able to do. Where Dirty was able to do his viral moment on their parking lot.
That
So
really still burns my nuts.
I think they make ointments for that, sir.
right, and he never did get it. So
First degree burns all the way up to the testicles.
But anyway, but those are the times that we had. But I think that was the only time we really had the community come out was
Mhm.
that particular when the season happened. So shout out to Carla. She did an amazing job of getting that together. That's not the woman
Listen.
we're talking about either.
This
let you know.
would be great if they would do that across
Yo.
the XFL or across this new league. Do a bar network in all of these cities. It would be great. I mean, people were in here talking about the marketing. Daddy Ed, you were in San Antonio with us. Arlington, you were there at that championship. Jay, you live in San Antonio. Was the marketing in San Antonio way better than it was here in St. Louis? In your guys' opinion? Looking out into San Antonio? I would say it was.
Well,
Daddy
I'd have
Ed,
to
what would you say?
Well, I'd have to say yes, because there is no marketing in St. Louis. So, I mean,
If you want to compare apples to apples, I would have had to have been in St. Louis. I have to take you guys' word for it for the marketing. What I can say is in the San Antonio marketplace, we had 4 electronic billboards that were showing anything about the San Antonio Brahmas. And it was on, electronic billboards. It's just, cycling through the different ads and whatever. You would see the San Antonio Brahmas ad once every about 10 minutes, maybe. And again, they're working on a shoestring budget, so I get it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But 4 billboards across a city of 1.7 million people, and you're expecting people to show up to this game? No, we could not get local news coverage to cover any of the information. We couldn't get the only time they ever talked about anything was when it was specifically about Hines Ward.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, the team didn't matter.
That's
So-
because Houston did not either. And there was a guy that when they showed the games, they was on the ABC affiliate in Houston, right? They did one thing, and I hope my guy can vouch for me from Rough 'Em Up, Cullen Watkins. They did one thing, did a cut thing with a fan thing before the season, and that was it. They did nothing else. They didn't talk about the Roughnecks on television.
Mhm.
And that's was wild to me, man. And They didn't really market them either. Same thing with San Antonio, the billboards. But you got to remember what the difference is. The primary focus is in Houston, Astros,
Right.
Rockets.
But all I'm saying is
Texas.
this. If you remember
Yeah.
2020, the marketing in 2020 was absolutely phenomenal. They were out there in the communities. San Antonio, the Brahmas were in the community more than the Battlehawks were. They were reaching out
Mhm.
to the fan pages and stuff like that.
I told
They
you
did-
already, man.
They didn't do
Stop-
that in St. Louis because
Stop messing with. Okay, stop
Well-
dealing with because Brandon Williams, man.
And I'm going to have to jump in and give a big shout out to my guy, James Carr II, our ticket rep with the San Antonio Brahmas. He's out right now, in fact, at an event promoting the Brahmas. And it's not even related to the Brahmas. So I say he's the hardest working man in show business. Definitely one of the hardest working in the XFL. That's how we're doing our advertising, is through the efforts of people like that take their job that seriously, that they're willing to, blow off an entire weekend to go out and do things such as our trunk or treat event or our back to school event or things like that. Okay. But that's not really advertising,
right. I'm not saying that, but it's getting out in the grassroots movement.
Yeah.
But
That's
you
what it's
said it.
about.
But you said the key word in that, Jason, was shoestring budgets.
Mhm.
You didn't have a lot. If you really want to focus on that, then you're going to have to put more money behind it.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's
Or what
difficult
you do like they did in 2020, you go to those fan bases, you go to those pages, and you get the groups to help you.
Yeah.
And in 2020, we did that.
And that was
2023,
crazy, man.
we didn't.
Right.
And
That-
they were wondering about St. Louis. They really
Because
were
I
worried
guarantee you, if that whole dome would have been open, Daddy Ed, because you can vouch because we've talked to certain individuals, right? They were shocked that they put 38,000 in that first home game. They were thinking maybe we should have opened it up because they could have gotten everybody in. They could have gotten more people in there in the dome.
I
Am I right,
guarantee
Daddy
you,
Ed?
if they would open the upper deck from the get-go and just leave it open and give the fans the ability to get the cheap tickets,
Mm-hmm.
we would have had over 40 for every game. I'm firm
Exactly.
believer in that. You can't open up the upper deck on a Thursday when the game's on a Saturday or whatever and sell that many tickets. It takes
that-
a
and
while
that-
for the fan
Yep.
base to find out
Yep.
that they're even available.
And that
Exactly.
was the key thing here is about the schedule. The schedule dictated how those crowds are going to be. For St. Louis, it was okay. For DC, it was okay. For Houston, not so much. Seattle had the worst of it because of the Thursday, and then they also had a
Right,
Monday
yeah.
game. If I'm
So
not mistaken.
SDIM says, how much did 2020 lose though? Well, we saw how much they lose. They lost $23 million because that's what The Rock and them bought the league for. $23 million out of bankruptcy. So we know that. It could have possibly been more. I don't know listen. Look, I don't have to be now. I was very, very high. All right, Jay, we'll jump off, buddy.
Well, let me infuriate the fan base real quick.
Oh, great.
Okay?
Here we go. I just
Right.
checked something.
Because San Antonio, we're all about doing things big. St. Louis, make sure you're prepared this next season because we're coming for you. Okay. We are going to be the best fan base, and we're going to be taking that 2024 USXFL championship trophy home to San Antonio where it belongs with the true champions of the league. I'm out. Horns forward, baby. Let's go.
Get out of here. Get out of here. I just removed his ass.
Stop it.
Just removed him. Will you stop? But, I mean, listen. This is a new league, right? Daddy Ed, I know me and you've already talked about taking trips to Memphis for the Memphis games, right? Even supporting that because it's only a 4-hour drive, right?
The I-55 series.
That's right. We've talked about but we've even talked about going down just for a Showboats game, even if they're not playing the Battlehawks, if the schedules don't conflict.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's to support this league. And that's what we need to do. If we want this league to survive, we need to do that. We need to support as many teams as possible. And I don't want to hear people say, oh, they're not my team, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Buy a keychain from them. because that's supporting that team. I'm not saying you got to deck out in all, Brahmas or showboats or stallion stuff.
Listen, fans that love football, they will go out and get all of that type of stuff. I've seen it before and I can see it again. So even that means with the USFL coming in the mix, man, listen, getting whatever teams are prepared. I'm ready to get hats and I'm ready to get other stuff. I'm ready for that, man.
Right, yeah. I mean,
I'm
I
looking
got
forward
hats
to it.
for every team.
Yeah. And that's what was cool about it, man. So right now you got nostalgia sitting in your
Ooh, look at this. I can't wait. Look at Brock here. He says they need a fan base, and the Stallions will stomp all because Alabama loves football. Hey, listen, I won't take anything away from Alabama. You guys have shown you guys will support a team. I'm really looking forward to playing the Stallions.
I can't,
I'm really
if
looking
there's
forward to it.
if there's anybody out there that thinks that this league is going to be scripted, there is no better story than AJ McCarron, two-time Alabama national champion, playing for the Battlehawks,
Going back home.
going back home to Birmingham to stick it to the Bama
Hey,
fans.
that's gonna be a fun trip.
It's going to be nothing better, Daddy Ed. It's going to be nothing better than when the Neucher is on this team and we go back into Birmingham with AJ McCarron as the quarterback and the Nooch flexes on all of the Birmingham Stallions.
Yeah, but Nucci would be the backup on the sideline holding the clipboard. I don't know if it has the same. I don't know if it has the same oomph
Hey,
as it had last year.
listen, that would be fun. Like I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. As much as I'm gonna sit back and like, okay, this is getting out of control, but it's like the more and more we getting closer to it, the excitement is going to come back. And
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the PR leading up to the St. Louis Birmingham game if St. Louis still has AJ as quarterback?
yes, that's gonna be so much fun, man.
Can you imagine when we got number 6 wearing the blue and silver, and you got number 10 wearing the red and white in Birmingham, back home, playing in front of his home crowd for his home city, and we got the Nooch just throwing all over Birmingham's defense.
Hey,
And then
wait a
we
minute.
just run all over Birmingham with the Noocher.
San Antonio Jay just sat back and said that that the Brahmas was going to win the title, right? Last I checked, when Wade Phillips got into the playoffs, they laid an egg.
Look at that. Right.
So
Look at
you're
this right
really
here. I love it.
believing? You
Look
really
at
gonna
this right here.
believe? You really gonna believe what Jay just said about
No,
that?
I'm saying the Stallions are going 10-0.
But you just said that the Battlehawks was going 10-0 with Danucci.
Oh, yeah, right. With Danucci, we'll go 10-0. If we don't have
Thank you very
Danucci,
much.
we'll go 5-5.
All right, we can get out of here, man. We've had fun.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a good question. Hypothetically,
Ooh.
look, I'm just gonna say it ain't hypothetical. When Nucci comes to the Battlehawks,
That'd be
would
so
you
cool,
want
though.
June Jones as the coordinator?
Hey, in the dome, absolutely.
Yes.
If we
Daddy
did
Ed,
that.
you wouldn't want June Jones as our coordinator?
Anybody would beat the offensive coordinator we have.
I knew he was gonna say it.
Hey, and Jacour Pearson with the Battlehawks, man.
I would love it. Love
That would
JPZ.
be so cool. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for tuning in to this edition of our pop-up show As the Merge Turns. We'll see y'all in the new year, unless something
Daddy Ed,
else
when's the
drops.
next bottom line?
The new
Come
year,
on,
right?
mention Boomer.
My guess is the next bottom line is going to be next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, there you heard. Hey, listen, Brock Dice, thank you. Hey, listen, I'm excited to go to a Birmingham game or have a Birmingham game come here. Come on and meet Boomer. We'd love to meet Boomer. You heard it. Heck yes to June Jones. Listen, the bottom line, when is it, Daddy Ed? Next Wednesday?
I better not say that because that's the same time as B-Hawk Live. So stay tuned. I'll have to.
Yeah,
I'll have to
you're
let
quick.
you know. I don't know though. If we don't start having B-Hawk live shows, we just as well get rid of it. So we'll see.
Ooh.
And on that note, goodbye.